talking
$1,000,000.
about how to read biblical narrative, or in other words, how to read stories.
Right. And one of the main ingredients of any good story is characters who encounter conflict and then have to overcome it.
Yeah, let's talk about characters. In most stories, we quickly identify with characters because, just like them, we're in our own story having our own conflicts that we need to overcome.
Yeah, and good stories have characters with relatable struggles. We can watch them react to these challenges in different ways, and we get to see what happens as a result. Through characters, an author can show us their view of what it means to be human. The Bible's no different. Biblical stories use characters as a mirror so we can see ourselves and discover our own human nature in the reflection.
The thing about characters in the Bible is that they can be hard to relate to. I mean, often there's very little detail given about them.
Yeah, biblical authors develop characters differently than modern narratives. They prefer to communicate a lot through minimal detail. For example, we rarely hear what people look like in the Bible, but when we do, it's crucially important for the story.
Like we're told that Saul is tall and David was kind of a runt.
And these become images of their moral character. Saul's height matches his love of status and power to impose authority, while David humbly accepts his low status and allows God to exalt and deliver him.
So people's physical appearances are symbolic.
Yeah, very often. Like Esau's hairy body fits his animal-like behavior, and Jacob's smooth skin matches his deceptive, slippery nature.
What other clues do we get about biblical characters?
Well, often people's names symbolize their role in the story. Abraham in Hebrew sounds like father of a multitude. Jacob means deceiver. Ruth means refreshment. And Saul, his name means the one asked for. He's the flawed king that the people requested.
So by packing all this meaning with very little detail, biblical stories can do a lot in a little space.
And they even leave out things that modern readers want to know about these characters. Like they rarely come out and tell us people's thoughts or motives.
Right, like when Moses saw an Egyptian beating an Israelite, he kills him on the spot. But why? Was this righteous anger, or did he just lose his cool? And was it okay with God that he did it?
Yeah, we're not told. Because biblical authors usually avoid giving moral commentary. They would rather have a character's words and actions reveal their motives and then leave us to judge their behavior by seeing the consequences. So in the case of Moses, this murders the beginning of a pattern of his anger getting the best of him with bad results. This choice forces him to run and hide in the desert for 40 years.
So it was a bad thing. But he does meet his wife out there, so it's a good thing?
Exactly. It forces you to ponder. Through all these techniques, the biblical narrators keep their stories compact, memorable, but also engaging.
But seriously, was Moses being good or bad? Right? Like in classic stories, there's always a good guy and a bad guy, some admirable hero who faces off against some horrible villain.
Sure, and simplified characters like that are helpful for teaching children there's such a thing as good and evil. But the Bible's not a children's book. Its characters are very complex, a mixed bag of good and evil, just like us. There's hardly any flawless characters in the Bible.
What about heroes of the faith, like Abraham or King David?
So you mean Abraham, who used an Egyptian slave for sex and then lied about his wife 2 times to save his own neck? And David, the man after God's own heart, who sleeps with another man's wife and then murders him? These stories are anything but simplistic. They offer us realistic portraits of compromised people like ourselves. The real surprise is that God keeps working with them despite their failures.
So, just because a person's called by God or wins a battle, becomes successful or wealthy, doesn't mean the biblical author wants me to act like them.
Right. It would actually be really dangerous to imitate most biblical characters.
True. But there must be something admirable in biblical characters, something I can imitate.
Absolutely. Pay attention, and you'll notice that most biblical stories highlight the moments when characters fail or come to the end of themselves, and then they choose radical trust in God's grace and wisdom. It's in these stories that the authors show us how to be a human who truly pleases God through humility and surrender.
Yeah, the fact that God stays committed to biblical characters is a profound statement about the patience and love of God, who is also a character.
Right. And by studying biblical characters, we can observe our own worst tendencies on display. And we see time and again God's gracious response that will see this story through to the end.
All right. So what was the video we just watched? What was it about?
It was about if they're good or bad and stuff.
So
And how every single plot has like a good character and bad character.
yeah. So the major thing you said it was character.
Yeah.
So
Movie is flawless.
so when you look at your life story, can I thusly say that you are a straight good person, or straight always bad person?
I am evil. I have never done anything good in my entire life. I did not hold the door for anybody at Panera, especially not the old people.
Yeah. So just as we are missed bags of moments that we operate in righteousness and the moments that we operate in selfishness, Scripture shows characters that are mixed bags. And the one thing we'll learn is who's the one who's always faithful? Yahweh, King Jesus. Yeah. And so this is what makes the Bible so beautiful and good, is when it does show us, it reveals things to us to also reveal our flaws. So then we can cling deeper to the God of the Bible. Because we're not going to be able to figure it out on our own. We need someone stronger, a strong man. Yep. All right, we can start, and we'll play until.
Why was I plugging it into the back the whole entire time for it?
Huh.
When I could just
Bah.
From plug it.
like plug it in the front.
Hello.
I can't tell if that was a person on the streamer on Discord or Jason.
What'd you hear?
I don't know. It's going to be Jason.
Was it when I said hello?
All right. Oh my gosh. For some reason. Let's try again.
Ow. Yo! I didn't block that.
No.
I can't block. It's not letting me block. It's not letting me block. Bro. What the heck? It's impossible. I can't block.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Can't even beat me with a level 5 massacre, bro. You win.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Got me then. Huh? Oh, I missed time. Bro. Alright, bro. That boss fight was easy, bro. No, how did that not hit? Alright, bro, I'm not playing. I need to log with.
Uh,
Yo, show you a good thing. Alright. I'll cook
No,
you.
you're right.
No, I'm up. Bro, I cooked you in Forsaken. I got like almost 8 days of playtime.
I.
Look at my profile, huh? Look at my profile.
6,000 money? That's crazy.
No, just look at my profile, bro. Open up my profile. No, open up my profile here.
Oh.
Click on my name. Bottom. Look at my playtime. 7 days, 23 hours. Wait, hold on. Stay on my profile real quick. Yeah, open it real quick. And I only put
Oh yeah. Why do you have Slasher still?
What do you mean? Why do I have slasher still? You know that the killers don't get better, right? They just don't like this guy.
Oh yeah, I bet you don't have it.
Oh, I do. I've got every killer, every survivor, and a lot of expensive skins. Rondo is like, he's a trapper. Slasher is more of like a punishing, free damage. You know what? Hold on. You know what? I'll put him, okay? Now look at my profile. Okay, that better? Also, look at my profile. I do have John Doe. And I have a cool skin.
Yo.
Oh, Nolby? Nolby is easy. Nolby is the hardest killer to play. How do you not have him? Oh, I guess I'm.
Okay.
Alright, lock in. I'm just joking. I'm just joking.
I just try to save me for last.
I'll
To
save
make
you
it
for last.
weird.
Target time. Yo, what did you say? Let's keep doing. Oh, that's you.
Yo.
Dude, he just literally like the same
Yeah.
damage as everyone
Dang.
else.
Candy?
Huh? Oh, you're so Oh, you're so lucky for that. I'm sorry.
I thought you could be invisible.
It's not fully. How did you guys
Oh,
said
then
let's
why?
keep it?
Yeah, I'm switching. That sucks.
This time you have to backstab.
Oh. Change that?
No, that's you have to stab the killer in the back.
Yeah. Why is it anywhere? Oh, wait, shoot. What kind of thing is that?
Oh, you're dead. You're so dead, bro.
Join a event.
Come on, you're so dead, bro.
They is not. Big good.
Do you hear that? JJ got a call. Do you hear he got a call? He's outside.
I'm starting. Yeah. Okay. Why are you not in it? Okay, I got hit. Oh, skins. Yeah, they're limited time skins. It's the Halloween event, and they're also actually good skins. Huh? Oh. You get a block cola, which you keep up. Sniffing potion, which you use for, like, what are you good at? Speaking? 007 instead. You guys get the ability to, with a long, like, charge up thing, you can teleport across the map. He can spawn a clone, which makes him basically invisible, and spawns a clone that runs in the direction. And, yeah.
I'm at 300. I can't. Get closer to me.
Dang it. He does have high HP, however, you have to use it properly. He's a sentinel. His abilities are going to be pretty much useless if you don't use it right. Charge, you get 15 seconds to slow it too if you miss, and if you hit it, all you have to knock them back a little bit. And then with your block, you have to basically just have to use it when they attack you, like right before it hits you. Don't use Elliot. He's a support. The pizza, you throw it, it can hit your teammates. No one's doing it. And do not use your reptile. You only get one charge. It gives you speed for a couple of seconds. And you only get one charge per match unless you when you're being chased and you're really low on stamina and use it.
Is it best not to fast forward? I don't know.
Yeah, but it's okay. It's hard. Yeah,
The pawn.
obviously.
It's an evil pond. All right. We got to bounce after that match, okay?
Kill me. Where's pizza?
As that cooldown.
Oh my god, he got so lucky. I'm at 2 HP.
Oh, I did not do it. I think we actually.
Oh, we will.
Fuck is it?
Unless Elliot dies. Other Elliot.
Yeah, I was so dead.
Yep, he
if I
died.
I have.
Chance.
I'm at I doubt it.
All right.
Cooldown, man.
Be right back.
Pizza.